Good evening, and welcome to a joint planning and development subcommittee town council meeting. It's Thursday, November 21st, 2024. It's 6:03 in the Veterans Room. It's possible a quorum of the town council may be present and discuss the agenda items, but voting rights shall be limited to subcommittee members in attendance. That was agenda item number 1, the call to order. Item number 2 is roll call. Councilor Marquetti.
Present.
Citizen member Bernadone.
Present.
Citizen member Larachelle.
Here.
Councilor Steve Kelly is excused, and I'm present. I'm Councilor Daniel. Very good. At this point, I'd like a motion to suspend the rules and add 2 agenda items. Agenda item 2A, review the minutes of October 29th, 2024, and agenda item 2B, a presentation by the Rios family.
So moved.
Second.
Very good. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Thank you very much. Unanimous of all present. We'll go to agenda item number 2A. We're reviewing the minutes of October 29th, 2022. Is there any discussion on the minutes?
Here we go.
2024. I'm sorry.
You said you don't have them?
I know.
Thank you.
So you can take a second to look through them.
It was just a brief outline. I didn't get too detailed.
Okay. Thank you to Councilor Marquetti for putting these together for us. Dee Dee.
Could they just spell my last name right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Please.
I took it right off of
Capital
the,
R.
I took it right off the agenda, so.
Did you? Okay. No, that's okay.
All right,
It's just
now-
it's a capital R in Larachelle.
I'll mention it to Matt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My last name too, there's 2 R's,
It's 2 hours.
it's Bernard.
Bernardone.
Bernardone.
Bernard, oh. Okay.
Everything else is good.
Everything else is good? All right, well, we want to know who you are. And then capital R. Very good. Any other discussion? Very well. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Unanimous of all present. Very good. We come to the good part of the meeting. Agenda item number 2B, a presentation by the Rios family. I'm very pleased to welcome Severina and Ruben Rios to come up to the table and discuss some plans they have. Councilor Lazo, Chairman Lazo, you're welcome to come up too. Please come up to the table so you're near the microphones.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
You wanna sit here?
Very good. Welcome.
Thank you.
And the
Thank you.
table is yours.
Very good. You want to start or you want me to start? Okay.
I'll let you.
I think that most of you know who we are, okay? My husband, Ruben. My name is Sabrina. We've been residents of this town for way over 50 years, okay? I'm a retired teacher from the Southbridge Public Schools, and Ruben owns Ruben's Transportation. And we raised 3 beautiful children in Southbridge, okay? They went to the public schools, and I have nothing else to say but good things about the way things in Southbridge were, and maybe they are now. If not, we all have to work together as a community. And the reason why we are here is that I think that some of you know that we lost our oldest son. It's 3 years ago that we buried him, okay? And it was a very tragic death, but that's okay. We have our plans and God has his, okay? And after he passed, I said, well, we have to do something to remember Marcos. So we started the golf tournament to give scholarships to the kids who graduate from Southbridge. They have to be Southbridge residents, okay? And most of them are either Bay Path or Southbridge High School graduate. First year, beautiful. Second year. This past year, only 4 students applied for the scholarship. I said, we have to think of something else, okay? I mean, it's not that I don't mind, okay, giving the money to the kids, but, so I said, you know what? We live on Charlton Street, right across from the school, okay? We've been here for 48 years. 46 years. 46, not 48, okay?
Is my son, my son was just a month old.
A month
Marcus.
old
Okay.
when we
Moved
moved.
there. It's
That's
46
awesome.
years. Sorry.
Yes, he was a month old. And I said, so the Charlton Street School, that's where my kids went, and the playground behind the school, that's where they used to go and play. I never forget that it was a Friday evening and that they went outside to play, and Ruben told them, please be very careful, don't break a window, okay? Guess what? 3 or 4 minutes after, they come in. Marcos, he says to Dad, guess what? I didn't break a window, I broke a door. So I said,
Glass
"Oh."
door, glass door.
So it was a Friday evening, so it was a good thing that we knew Mr. O'Brien, God rest his soul. He was the principal, so we called him Mr. O'Brien. And he said, well, Mr. O'Brien, this is what happened, okay? And he said, don't worry, you bring Marcos to see me Monday. So Monday, they went to see Mr. O'Brien. And Mr. O'Brien says, it's not your father, it's you who's going to have a conversation with me. So they had a conversation, and he said, you broke the window, you're going to pay for it, okay? And how are you going to pay for that window? Every week, you're going to pay $1, but you have to earn it. So he was always looking for things to do in the house. So 3rd grade, 4th grade, and 5th grade, for 3 years, he paid $1 every week.
Pay off.
Okay, so the door was taken care of. So, and the reason why I bring this is because Charlton Street means so much to us. And I was thinking that some of the money that we raised from the golf tournament, we would like to put it towards the playground behind the school, okay? Because it's a beautiful area, okay? But it could use a little more things, okay? So my idea, and Ruben, you have to help me with this. My idea is to refurbish the playground, just the playground, okay? And this is the hard part. I don't know if you guys are gonna like it or not, but I would like to name that playground after Marcos. The Marcos Rios playground, okay? Papa,
Yeah, sounds good.
okay. And so,
She's the boss, by the way.
we work as a team. We work as a team. In my idea, and this is why I need your input, and this is why we all have to work as a team, is that we can buy, like someone told me that they're gonna demolish the gazebo. I said, I hope not,
No, that's not true.
because
They were if they put the dog kennel there, but the dog kennel has been moved.
oh, okay. Because my idea is to start with the gazebo and buy a nice picnic table
More
and
than
put
one,
it
of course.
there, a big one. Because I've heard from people says, oh, we come here, but there's no place for us to sit. So I says, well, maybe if we start with a nice picnic table, and then we buy things. It's for the little guys. I'm thinking of the little guys. The big ones, they can go up and play soccer and play whatever, pickleball and things like that. But it's for the little ones, the playground. So that's my idea, in our idea, because we're working as a team. And David and Christina are part of this team, but they couldn't make it to the meeting. And like I said, if we start with a 4 or 5 year commitment, like donating $25,000 every year, okay, we can refurbish that playground, okay? And I think it's doable.
And it's not a lot we need. Basically, we'd probably get some swings in there, probably some of those toys that could just get on it. One of those, and just, you know, it's like a seesaw maybe, or is that what it's called, seesaw?
But,
Yeah,
but
seesaw and
things
stuff like
that
yeah.
stay there, okay, that
Permanent
stay
plant. Oh,
there,
yes, it's gonna be planted
okay?
there, yeah.
They have to, so now that you heard us, you can, yes,
How about having a sign that looks like a glass door that's broken? Over Marcos Rios Park Playground, just as a little bit of history.
yeah.
Just a quick overview. When this idea came up, Chairman Daniels, myself, the DPW director, it's more of a site visit type thing, like where's this gonna fit? not interrupting other play areas, but still, you know, to have the full impact. What I did was I got the plot plan for the rec area, and the gazebo and the bathrooms and the garage area is gonna stay. Now that the dog kennel got moved over to the DPW barn, and that's gonna be probably breaking ground in the springtime. What I did was I put together a little blueprint which shows when you drive, this is Charles Street School, you're gonna drive in the main entrance. This is the parking area. It goes up to the other rec areas. This yellowed area right here, the orange is the gazebo. This yellow area here, the sidewalk comes up and goes into the pickleball area. This sidewalk goes around. I don't know if the town can get together with the Rios family as far as help them with some of this fencing in this area. Because if it's gonna be a tot lot for small kids, you know, the traffic when they're having soccer games and stuff, this would be a nice play area. You're talking about putting furniture in the gazebo area, and then in this area here, to spread out much what you did, so similar to what you did on Main Street, seesaw, the car driving, the swings and all of that. So I think what has to happen is, in order to move on this, I think they have probably the biggest golf tournament. I play in it. I play in a lot of them, but this one here was a monster. You know, serving about 300 meals. The golf course was packed. All good friends and family. It was a great time. But the Rios family has always been respected. I went to high school with Ruben, fantastic teacher at Southwood High School. And through the years, I got to know the boys. And it was a sad thing to lose Marcos. But it's a great idea to remember Marcos. You know, like you said, God has his own plan. Now, I have the utmost confidence. We're going to make her, we're going to get her a hard hat, and she's going to be in charge of this project. I don't think Ruben will argue with her. But this is the area that we're looking to approve to move forward. So as a recreation director in the grant, any help, ideas, anything that you have, bring it forward. But I think this is the target area. We'd love to secure it with fencing, and I can shoot the topography for the ones that are not there, for the furniture company, where they would say, okay, to deal with and if there's any excavation, they we're gonna donate it for the placement. They're talking about permanent fixed rides, that much like you did on Main Street. Any questions on the site?
Could you just,
She was first.
Okay.
could you just back up and explain that sort of again so I can see it? I don't even know where we're talking.
This is where you drive, this Town Street School.
Okay,
This is where you drive in.
go up the hill.
Yep, the parking lot here, the gazebo's right here, the orange circle.
Yeah, okay.
What we're gonna do is this highlighted area basically is surrounded by sidewalks.
All right.
You know, there's no reason that, nobody ever really crosses unless you're using this area. But if it's gonna be a tot lot and it's on the same lines as some of the things they put on Main Street, the swings and the ladders and all the wonderful slide. And this is the area that's targeted that they need. What we wanna do is get approval. John and I were talking about this with the Rios family, and we met. And this is a perfect site, you know, for the playground.
Okay, there's no more soccer fields there?
Yes, this field's a flat field, this is a flat field, they use for soccer and Pop Warner. This school here, there's a play area here, but
There
this,
is one there, okay.
this
there's a
goes to
playground.
the school.
Okay, all right, so this is separate from the school, basically.
Separate from the school, but
Perfect.
if they wanted to come over to it, it's close enough to
yeah.
walk over to it.
Oh, absolutely.
Say you wanted to have a picnic in a play area, you're gonna have the table, you know.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Now, just as a point, Marcos lived here.
Yep.
This is their house.
So that's helpful.
So this is you know, it's almost like a perfect storm, moving forward. But again, it's gonna take a community push. I know the Rios family is excited. I know I'm excited, and John and I were like, hey, this is a great project. Now, if we get Peg Dean involved, forget about it. Thanks, John.
Recreation Director Brunel.
Yes, I only have this sketch right here, but we did meet with a playground designer. The price might be a little bit higher for our price point, but it was a nice layout, kind of an idea of what could be there. So if you wanted to take a look at that, you're welcome to.
That's a good beginning.
Just kind of what we can fit on.
Yep,
Yep.
that's a good beginning.
Who's the company?
It was Burke.
The Burke Company, what would you use on Main Street?
Emmy O'Brien?
I was just kind of doing some
No,
ballpark
no,
looks,
I-
and it
this is
seems
what we
like
want.
some of the prices we could get for cheaper, so,
Burke is
Price-
cheap, Burke is cheaper, for material.
are,
Yeah, usually.
okay, well, I was looking at some and I thought might be some cheaper option.
They were
Yes,
cheaper.
I have the catalogs if they, right, so.
Okay, we'll get together with that.
I mean, you're gonna need another meeting, and what we're looking for is to bring this forward to council to approve that we can start this project and designate the area.
Okay.
And then once we designate the area, then I can further define, if everybody's on board and everybody's ready to go, we can go up there and shoot the topography and stuff and elevations to get an actual print with the, and if it needs more flat spots, we'll take care of it with concrete work. I'm gonna donate whatever it takes.
That sounds very helpful. That was one of the hangups we had with Main Street, as you all know, was we were coming up against some grading issues that in the 11th hour, we had to find some more money to be able to address. But if that was guaranteed, what I would recommend maybe to Mike is that you take your topo and you send it out to not just Burke, but then try 2 others.
Yep.
And say, this is our budget, if you wanna say to start with whatever your budget is, say you want a phased project of, say, $75,000 with 1 year, 2 year, 3 year suggestions of how to lay it out in total. And then they could help you with what the safety standards are, right? You have to have so much fall space in between each piece of equipment. They could tell you what's allowed. And then they'll each have their own spin on what's better or worse. That's my suggestion.
Sounds good.
Because I was thinking if we donate, let's say, $25,000 a year for 4 to 5 years, okay?
Work into what you're saying, yeah.
So,
Sounds good.
Sounds like a
A lot of the
plan.
stuff is not really that expensive, or if you wanna get, like this whole setup, like it is on the other side, but
Yep.
that would be a lot of money, but if you get small items, like the seesaw, the swings maybe.
Yeah, it's for the-
you
for
know,
the little guys.
Tables and, fenced area, and that should be more than enough.
part of my idea, and of course sometimes we think with our heart and not with our brain, is that hopefully someday Marcus's little boy will come to Southbridge and we can take him to where Dad used to play.
Playground.
But they told us that they won't come back to Massachusetts, so that's okay.
You don't know.
We'll
You
deal with
never
that.
know.
Never know,
Yeah, that's right,
Never
give
know.
it time.
The only thing that I would suggest is that if there are any other departments or committees that have to be involved in this, I wouldn't step on anybody's toes.
I already checked with the Calabrese family that donated it. I talked to John. DPW was already on site. Rick thought that it was a joint idea of trying to, way to draw this where it doesn't interrupt anything else. And it would be big enough to do whatever you want. So I don't know if any other, recreation's in, Grant.
Is the school department involved with that?
No, we're not near any, we're
I don't
not
think so.
even close to that.
They're only
I just
wetlands
didn't know if
files.
the
Yeah.
park was involved with the kennel.
And the only other suggestion I might have is the material, because it's gonna be a top lot. Those fall zones have to have certain rubberized or soft surfaces. So maybe before you consider asphalt, you might be better off just leaving it and then putting down wood chips.
But,
Yeah, so that just, might be a suggestion.
no, I think that's absolutely right.
No, we talked about that, about the.
I think the installation part, when we do it, like, I helped on behind West Street School. I poured all the concrete in that gym they put there. But I think what happens is if there's any landing of a slide or anything like that, or, even in the swing area, if somebody falls off, it's all about safety now,
Right, and Rich Benoit is very knowledgeable about all those
Yeah,
safety
he's
standards.
good, he's been great.
Well, Counselor, Chairman, what would you suggest as an agenda item that you'd like to see?
I
on
would like to
Monday
see a
night?
recommendation to go forward on the Marcos Rios recreation area.
Playground.
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 Okay? Because we don't want to step on anybody's
You're right,
toes.
no, you're right.
Okay? Just the playground, right, Pat?
Yes.
He didn't salute.
All right, that's all you need?
That's all I need, and then we'll go to council next meeting.
Okay. I'll take a motion to recommend to go forward with the Marcos Rios Playground.
Right. Bring the motion forward.
Yep.
Can you add Charlton Street rec area
Charlton Street, at the Charlton Street rec
Yes.
area? All right.
as designated? and we'll make this the poster boy for the designation.
Recreation area, okay. Anything else?
Second motion.
We have a second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just wanna say good work, brings tears to my eyes, it's very sweet. I don't think I've ever formally met you, but I've known about you for years.
Oh, okay.
You're a legend.
Ruben.
Yes, I've never
You're
met you
famous.
before.
Okay,
So
I
thank
say-
you.
Part of the fixture in town,
So I've heard, oh, I know.
Yes.
I sit in the basement, I don't get to meet people. which is-
Oh, okay,
Been a
okay.
Senior center.
Since 1973.
Oh, wow.
So,
Since before I was
Before you were
born,
born,
that's
yeah.
right.
Well,
Yes.
I came in 1963. I went to Wells as an 8th grader. Okay, so I know everything about Southbridge. So, thank you so much. Okay.
Okay, let's-
And you know where to find us.
okay,
Okay.
let's take a vote, make it official. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? 5-0, it's unanimous.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be in front of the town council, do we have time to get it on?
Yep.
It's gonna be posted today, right?
December
The meeting?
second.
December 2nd.
Yeah.
All right,
December
good.
2nd, so we got-
What time is the
December
meeting?
2nd, 7 o'clock.
7
Yep.
upstairs.
Yeah.
And we should be there,
Yes.
right? Are we going to be crucified that day or no?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Bring it back up.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Great, so again,
Thank you
thank
very
you,
much.
thank you so much,
Okay.
appreciate it.
First big step.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, I appreciate it. Director Brunel, thank you for coming.
Of course, yeah.
Very good. Okay.
And I was thinking that maybe we can apply for grants or things like that and
Yeah, you talked to Tiger over there, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah,
make it very fancy.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Severino.
Bye, take care.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Take care.
So I
Okay.
just let Matt know to look out for that agenda item,
All right,
put a placeholder on the town council agenda.
great. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, agenda item number 3, review, discuss entering into an agreement with Mass Mailers Plus for $6,136.86, using $4,000 in APRA microprojects account number 218000-578-050-21100, and the remaining $2,136.86 from our microproject grant account number 84249 to produce print materials to educate the community on public transportation options in the community and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
Second.
Very good, we have a motion and a second. Which lady would like to address it? Okay, Peg?
So this is
Please.
related to our micro projects grant, which is funded with $20,000 in a MassDOT grant and $4,000 in ARPA funds. The ARPA funds need to be committed by December 31st, and so in a creative way, I am trying to commit those $4,000 in advance of going full bore with the rest of the project. The goal of the project is to educate the community on public transportation options, so it's really like a publicity blitz for WRTA. Basically, what we concluded was that a lot of people in town don't know what our bus options are and the alternative bus options are, and so we're just going to try to educate as many people as possible through this grant about it. Things like the mailer and the postcard will be some of the public outreach, and we will be doing more than that. But this is, again, just to get those ARPA funds committed before December 31st. The mail, whatever the company's name is, Mass
Mailers Plus.
Mass Mailers Plus is the same mailing system we use for census and other clerk's office mailers.
Okay. Discussion. Councilor Marquetti.
Thank you. So, with the ARPA running out in December, we need a contract, so does this qualify as this estimate? So that qualify as a contract?
This does, this allows you to, for us to sign the quote, accepting the work, obligating us to then, enter a PO, committing the funds, so that I feel would substantiate a contract.
Okay? And the rest of the money, the 20,000, you haven't decided how to use that yet?
We don't have, I'm trying to hire an intern for the program and spend it in other ways that aren't time sensitive the way
All right.
this is.
Yeah, thank you.
Dee Dee?
So the public transportation options, you're only gonna be discussing one option, just the bus? No taxi cabs, no other options? There might be Ubers, I don't know what else there is out there, but
So what we'd like the intern to do is do a full surveillance of what our public transportation options are and really be educating just about those resources.
okay.
And
Thank
so,
you.
yeah.
Anyone else at the table? Anyone in the audience? Nope, I guess not. Okay, there being no further discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Unanimous of all present.
Thank you.
Let the record show that Councilor Kelly arrived at 6:08. Item number 4, review, discuss entering into an agreement for $60,000 to conduct a town hall facility study and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, I need a motion to amend with the following language. After the word agreement, in review, discuss, entering into agreement, we'll add with Dietz and Company for $60,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then after the word paperwork and before the word entertain, we'll add pending approval of Mass Historical Commission. So the amended agenda item would read as follows. Review, discuss, entering into an agreement with Dietz and Company for $60,000 to conduct a town hall facility study and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork, pending approval of the Massachusetts Historical Commission. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
May I recommend a motion?
You may recommend the amendment.
The amendment, yes.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a second for the amendment? Thank you, Counselor. Any discussion on the amendment?
I have a couple questions.
Certainly, Counselor Marquetti.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, through you. So, there was a 118-page report, and you studied it this morning and came to the decision that they were the best ones for the job?
If I may, through you, Chair, yes. So both Ted Tetro and I scored all 4 of the proposals. 118 pages, I don't know if that's actually accurate. So Dietz is actually, let's see, I thought they were more like 60 pages. And a lot of it is pretty standard stuff, like they will have, their cover letter, their maybe a summary, then they'll go into all their qualifications, resumes for everyone, they'll have pages of their projects, spread out, lots of pictures, so you don't have to have fine-tooth combed every piece of information. The way I wrote the RFP scoring sheet, it's supposed to hone in on specific areas. So it's asking for evidence of similar experience the consultant has, whether architectural or historic, proven through experience, evaluating historic public structures and providing recommended action plans for maintenance and use. So that's one, we have 4 different levels of scoring. The other one, past performance on public or private buildings, ability to incorporate existing facility studies into the evaluation, financial stability, and identifies and qualifies the consultants working on the project. So you can really, dig for that specific information and be able to get a good assessment of who, or a good judge of who's going to do the best job. And we both came up with the same recommendation of Dietz and Company. I rated mine various ratings. So for instance, the Architectural Preservation Studios, we rated 14 and 15. Design Labs, 12 and 18. So very different opinions on that one. Dietz and Company, I rated 16, he rated 19. SSV Architects, I rated 13, he rated 15. And that was it. And so we both had, various rankings, but thankfully we both came out on Dietz as the best choice. And he says in his, after reviewing their proposal, it seems to be a great fit for Southbridge. They have the years of experience and extensive knowledge of New England architecture, amidst, his various scoring.
Okay, well, when I went to print it out, it said it was gonna be 118 pages. That's why I thought, could be some blank pages in there, I don't know, but,
Right.
have you ever worked with this company before?
I've never worked with any of these companies.
Right.
Dietz and Company, I do know, just living in Western Mass, is constantly advertised. I know they're a pretty big firm, or at least a pretty well advertised firm, so I assume they're larger.
So you didn't really go with the least expensive or like that, you just went by,
Oh, forgive me for not maybe outlining very clearly what the parameters of this RFQ were. This is overseen by Mass Historical Commission. It's very strict. We had to follow the Chapter 7 design procedures. If you all recall, I came to you for a request for the Design Selection Committee appointments, right? So then we added Ted to that committee, and you are reviewing the qualifications for whoever responded to this. We posted it far and wide through the Combis, Central Register, and in the newspaper. In it, it states that there is a not-to-exceed fee of $60,000 with no reimbursement for outside costs of any sort. And then we state very clearly what the explicit deliverables are that we want. So it's a phased treatment plan. It's a and some kind of it's a phased treatment plan and a feasibility study, adaptive reuse, recommendations for the stained glass window in the front. So we had very explicit recommendations that they all had to show that they were willing to deliver. They all had to commit to working with our existing facility study to make sure we didn't waste any money from 2016 that was already a valuable tool they could just build on. And so they took that, they put together their proposals. We received them, we scored them, here we are, and we're trying to get this through, similar to the Mass Mailers Plus agenda item, because we have $30,000 in ARPA funding that's matching this. And so we want to make sure we commit these funds before December 31st. In order to commit these funds, we have to first get Mass Historical Commission's approval to go forward with the company, then we have to get the contracts signed, and then once it's signed, then we can go forward. And so that's why I didn't want to wait until the last meeting of December. So this will go forward on December 2nd.
so once again, we have to have a contract. So are we gonna be held up by the Mass Historical Commission, or is that just, I don't know, what happens if they don't accept it or something?
I mean, I think that your town manager is excellent about making sure that we don't drop the ball on anything. And so, I imagine if we had to, ask for a special town council to be able to reevaluate these because they didn't agree with our recommendation, or if something held this up, I'm sure he would make sure that we didn't lose the chance to spend that $30,000 in ARPA funds.
Alright,
Yeah, we did exchange emails with Mass Historical Commission today. He said that although he does think that this looks good, he would like to read the other 3 before he gives his blessing.
okay,
So I have to send those out tonight after the meeting.
thank you. I'm good, thank you.
Any other discussion on the amendment? There being none, all those in favor of the amendment? Anyone opposed? Nope. Unanimous of all. So, once again, the agenda item reads now as follows. Review, discuss entering into agreement with Dietz and Company for $60,000 to conduct a town hall facility study and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork pending approval of the Mass Historical Commission. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
Motion.
Thank you. The item as amended is now open for discussion. Any further discussion? All set? Okay. There being no further discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? The motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Very good. Item number 5, review, discuss the appointment of Shelley Klein, I believe, to the Economic Development Commission, pending state ethics for a term ending June 30th, 2027. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
Second.
Okay. Discussion.
if I may.
You may.
Shelley Klein came to the last P&D meeting, if you all recall. It was the first time I'd met Shelley. At the end of the meeting, she stuck around, asked some very direct questions about our economic development efforts in town, saying that she's interested in getting involved. In between that time and now, she also came to the town with a lot of questions about properties that have been sold by Michael Klein in the Main to Crane target area. We had some exchanges about what our powers are within the town. She went to the town council and brought up some of her concerns about housing, and since then has been given a list of vacancies for boards, committees, commissions, and still is interested in the same, what she said initially, Economic Development Commission. Unfortunately, the Economic Development Commission, we've had very little luck getting a quorum together. To date, since I've staffed them, starting a year and a half ago, we've never had a quorum. So hopefully, with new members, this might help that effort. And she did send a bio along. I apologize, I don't think it came out until today. So if anybody hasn't had a chance to review it, she is here and could speak about it directly, if that helped.
Would people like to speak with Ms. Klein?
Sure, she just.
Come on up. Come on up. Thank you, Ms. Klein. And welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, councilors, I open up the discussion. No?
So,
Counselor, go ahead.
I really don't have a lot of questions or anything, just, you have a lot of interest in economic development. I saw you on Facebook talking about housing, and did you end up going to that housing,
I did, yes.
meeting? Was it productive, or?
It was, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I have a meeting with Senator Fatman tomorrow to talk about legislation that's on the floor now and possibly doing some amendments to current legislation. So, yes, making some progress and finding solutions, as promised.
So Economic Development Commission and housing, how do you feel that works hand in hand?
So I think anything that has to do with the community goes hand in hand, so.
Okay. It's a little bit different though, I would think, Economic
I
Development Commission.
have a varying degree of interest in a lot of different things, and so,
Okay.
this housing situation, I think is potentially gonna be a problem for people in our community, and I have an interest in that. My day job, I work for a renewable energy company. Specifically, I worked in our electric vehicle charging division, and now I'm working in our treasury team, so, I'm also an artist when I am not doing these other things, so I have a broad interest of things, all of which I can put all of myself into.
I mean, that sounds good. I mean, economic development is something the town sorely needs because, you wanna try and hold down taxes, you gotta have more businesses coming to town, so it's a difficult task, but I wish you the best of luck. I don't have any problem with it.
Anyone else at the table? Dee Dee?
Did you mention a Michael Klein in your conversation?
No
Is that
relation.
No relation,
Yeah,
okay, I was curious.
My last name is Klein, and his last name is Kline. So I came across his name. He sold, I think, 26 properties to Archer Acquisitions back in May and June, and I thought, I hope nobody confuses my last name with his last name, but I don't know who he is, and we are not related.
Anyone else at the table? Counselor Kelly?
Just like to thank you for volunteering, and welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Peg?
The two union houses that burned were previously owned by Michael Klein, purchased by this new company. They were in our office this week, and I did ask if I could put them in touch directly with someone who's interested in learning more about the properties. And so, hopefully we can make more of those connections so that there's less conversation on Facebook about speculation and more of the direct to, person-to-person conversations about, why people choose to purchase or what their intentions are, et cetera. Yes.
Okay. You all set? Great. Ms. Klein, would you like to say anything tonight, or do you want to reserve comment till Monday, or?
Monday's fine.
Okay, Monday the 2nd, right?
Monday.
Yeah, December 2nd. Very good. There being no further discussion, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? Nope, unanimous of all present. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep,
Yep.
you'll be on the agenda December 2nd, 7 o'clock.
Thank you for being here.
I hope it's December 2nd. Item number 6, review, discuss entering into an agreement with Timeless Beauty Bar at 16 Hamilton Street for $1,250 using CDBG fiscal year 22-23 commercial rehab funds to provide a sign at 16 Hamilton Street and to allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
So moved.
Second.
PD, Catherine. Very good. Ms. Dean.
I'd love to introduce our new superstar downstairs. Sue Starkey is our new block grant coordinator. She's a Southbridge native and has already shown a lot of ambition, taking on initiatives like the commercial rehab. I will say we're pushing through these projects as aggressively as possible because we're already behind on grant years and we're being asked to spend down X amount of these grants before applying for the next one. And so we're just, we feel like we're constantly playing catch up. So she's doing a great job of really, taking the bull by the horns, shall we say.
Thank you. You can see that we were really ambitious based on the amount of motions we wanted you to consider so that we could put a motion forward to the town council so that they could approve contracts so that we could get the work going.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Okay.
There are actually 3 properties listed here. 2 of them are divided into a motion for the sign
Mm-hmm.
for the building because it's a low-cost item. It's a contract between the business owner that can be undertaken immediately to get that work done and to make sure that people are aware that these businesses are open. The other 3 projects are for more extensive work, and we put out requests for quotes using the Massachusetts procurement laws that I'm learning about. There's one standard that you have to follow if you think that the bids will be $25,000 or less.
50,000.
50,000, thank you. The 25,000 was what we thought it would cost for one of the projects. The bids that we got in were either over that amount or so wildly varied that we thought we need to tighten up what we wrote for the scope to make sure that everybody's bidding on the same thing. So my suggestion right now is that you just strike items 7, 9, and 10 from the agenda. You don't need to vote on it because we don't even have bid proposals that we can give to you to recommend to the town council. So I just made your meeting 60% shorter. The 2 items that you do want to look at are number 6 and 8. Those are for the signs. Item number 6 is for a sign for Timeless Beauty Bar. It came in at $1,250. It will just be this front sign right here. The additional work for the awnings and the facade painting is what we have to go back out to bid for. But that's what you'd be looking at. That's item number 6.
Okay,
And I'll just let you know that number 8 is for a similar thing for a sign for Moon Magic, which is further down Hamilton Street. And this sign was the one created by the business owner, the coffee shop Moon Magic by Shay. So both of those take into account what the property owner is looking for. This 208 Hamilton needed Mass Historical Commission approval, and we got that from them. So this one should be straightforward, and you can see it here. This sign is smaller, and it was $790. So that's an overview.
It sure is. So specific to this agenda item, this one's very straightforward. The $1,250 for just the
Yep.
sign.
Okay.
Yep.
Any discussion on agenda item 6? We'll start with that one, the $1,250.
Is this already in business, or?
They've opened up, and they really want to get that sign up. That's why
I
we,
didn't realize that there was
yeah,
wasn't there like a smoke shop or something?
that's still there. That's next door.
Oh, next door.
Oh, I see, small dog.
Okay, anything else on agenda item 6?
I would just like to tout the business owner's credentials. So she is a nurse in Worcester. She is a Southbridge resident. She's put her kids through the Southbridge public schools, and she and her daughter are going to be working at this business. It's a great entrepreneurial endeavor for them. Very excited. We look forward to supporting them.
Okay, any further discussion on agenda item 6? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Nope, unanimous, all present. Okay, now, in regards to item 7 and further along 9 and 10, I believe I'm in order, Counselor, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I'm in order that the sponsors can withdraw their motion at any time? Is that correct? Or does each one need to be addressed individually?
I don't think we need to be too formal.
Okay, so then at the behest of the sponsors, we'll withdraw items 7, 9, and 10. Okay, great. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 8. Review, discuss entering into an agreement with Moon Magic for $790 using CDBG fiscal year 22-23 commercial rehab funds to provide a sign at 208 Hamilton Street and allow the town manager to sign all related paperwork. Entertain a motion to recommend approval to town council.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Catherine. Is anything further need to be said?
Well, you can see the picture.
Just got a question.
Dee Dee.
Okay, Globe sign came in, I'm looking at their quote. It's a lot more money than the 700 and something she's looking for. Is that normal?
See how there's a few different
750?
quotes?
Okay, yeah.
She actually liked the least expensive option
one.
the best.
To the middle, okay.
So actually, if we could just get clarification, I'm gonna just steal this. So just to be sure, do we need
Oh,
the
I'm sorry.
1680 for 2-inch sandblasted? Do you need to maybe revise the agenda item? It would still come in significantly less than the other quote, no question asked.
She wanted was the PVC flat painted 750 option.
So these are absolutely two different options?
Yes.
Okay.
What page are you looking at?
Well, it's 750 and then the placement of the sign is another 40.
Yeah,
So that would make it 790 total,
Yep, which is
I
what she
believe.
had.
which is what she's got.
That's what
Right.
the agenda says.
Yep. So we're good. I think we're good.
I'm looking
750
at
for the sign, 40 for the installation.
But this is
We're in
to do,
business.
painting and whatnot. I think it's a private thing.
Yeah, let it.
Oh, hi Karen.
Creations and installation, of a shaped faux wood sign approximately 3 feet in height, needs to be 32 by 48, 3/4 inch PVC flat painted board, 750, installation for, yeah, I think that all comes together. The 2-inch sandblasted would be a different,
Okay, so
different
that's-
sign, yeah. Yeah, okay, I think we're good.
Hi, John. Can I just get a quick clarification on the quote we got for the sign for Moon Magic?
Moon Magic.
So there's three numbers. There's 1680 for sandblasting, there's 750 for the flat painted sign, and there's $40 for the
Installation.
install. Is that the full price, or was it one or the other with the 1680 versus the 750?
So $40 just covers my time going out there and climbing the building and hanging, bolting the thing on and all that.
And you're in a public meeting speaking to P&D Subcommittee.
Yeah, okay. So, and then the sign is two pretty radically different approaches to the sign. One is a sandblasted thing where she talked about a wood grain texture behind it, and she sent me an image with the wood grain in the image. And I said there was two ways to approach this. One is we sandblast it, which gives you like a 3-dimensional sandblasted texture of wood it drops down below the lettering, where you actually sandblast out the background.
Okay, so Sue got it right. Okay, so she said that she talked to Cheyenne that the 750 was her choice and not the 1680. And so we just
Well,
want
you talked to John.
Or you
and
talked to John.
So
Okay.
then that is just a flat piece of material that's printed with that logo that she sent with me, and then, adhered and brought it and put it in place on the hanger.
Okay, good. So we're good if we just give you $790.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
It's like a whole lot less work doing that than sandblasting a panel and making a dimensional sign.
Okay, good. All right. Thank you so much for answering and for clarifying.
You got it.
All right. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye. Thank you. You're welcome. I just didn't want us to lose an opportunity.
Yeah, is there any phone numbers you don't have?
I don't know. But speaking of, there's an engineer on the phone for me right now. I gotta run downstairs. I apologize.
Okay, that's quite all right.
I'm gonna excuse
Okay,
myself.
so the
Thank you.
790 is good. Any further discussion for Sue? All set? Very good. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? No. Unanimous of all present. We move to the final agenda item, which is to adjourn. I'll take a motion. I'm sorry.
Before you adjourn,
Councilor Shenya.
I'm wondering if for a future agenda that you could put on a item for looking into a bylaw for rent control.
Sure.
I spoke to Dave, chairman of the planning board, and he told us that that particular bylaw, or those type of bylaws, is not within his purview, his committee's purview.
Okay.
It's in the purview of the council.
From the council.
So I'm really not sure if it's P&D or would go into general gov, but maybe a combination of both. To discuss rent control bylaws, there are approximately 29 towns in the state of Massachusetts that have some type of rent control bylaw, but there is no state law for rent control, but there is some town bylaws, like 29 of them, I think. Warren, it's the western part of the state. So if we could have some discussion potentially about establishing a rent control bylaw.
I'll talk to Councilor Montigny and we'll work it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Question?
Certainly, Councilor Marquetti.
Now, are you sure that that is not illegal to have rent control? Because I thought it was.
It's not. It's,
If it's grandfathered in, it's okay, but if it,
Cambridge is the only city that was grandfathered in when they voted that law in. But if you look,
There were some subsections in the Affordable Housing Act that were left out of the vote from this past summer, and one of those was transfer fees in stabilization.
in the MassGov site, there's Massachusetts municipalities with rent control. They say this, so cities and towns, the Attorney General's office knows of that have rent control bylaws. There may be others. If you do not see a particular municipality on the list, you should check with that city or town hall to see if they have rent control provisions. And they list Belchertown, Bernardston, Cheshire, Chicopee, Dalton, Easton, Kingston, Lakeville, Ludlow,
Okay.
Merrimack, Middleborough,
Okay.
North Adams. You got it all.
We got the
There's
idea.
one more.
Yeah.
And, it says, if you have any questions, contact the General Manufacturing Housing Unit. But I would, suggest that we potentially get an opinion from Copeland and Page, or whoever legal opinion we have. Number one, can we establish a rent control bylaw, and how far or what type of bylaw we would need,
If so, where do we go?
right?
Right. Do you have any opinion, just on this very early?
My
Counselor?
understanding is that rent control is illegal in this state. It was voted by a referendum, as a matter of fact, back in the 70s, 79, or so, I believe it was 1979, basically abolishing it in Massachusetts.
Yes, it was.
The problem was, back in those days, what was happening with those communities that had rent control is that people would get into these apartments and they would stay there, whether or not they were, and of course, that they became, they would, not really sure how the scheme worked, but they were making, in that time, a lot of money. They could probably afford a rent at market rate, but they were sitting in these rent-controlled apartments forever. So it never really worked as it was intended, which is why it was voted out by the by the people, in a referendum, a ballot referendum.
But Cambridge does have it, they were exempt from that particular law.
Okay, I think that may be true,
Yep.
but, I'm not, I mean, I would, before we ever went forward with something like that, I'd want legal counsel.
Well, and that's why I suggested
Yeah.
we get some opinion from
Uh-huh.
Copeland and Page. In the news, like, of late, you notice that Mayor Wu, I think her name is, in Boston, is trying to do something, with rent control in Boston also. But I
Yeah,
believe-
but she's been slapped down by the Attorney General's
Right,
office on
but I
that,
believe
so.
Warren or Munson just recently passed a rent control bylaw. And I guess my understanding of it is that a bylaw versus a state law is the question that was, when the people voted it.
I don't believe rent control was ever a state statute, it was always a local
You know,
initiative.
I don't know, this is just something new that I've been asked to bring forward, to try to bring forward.
I mean, I don't have any objection to looking into it.
Right, and that's what I'm
Right,
saying, if we can
yeah.
look into it, if there's an option that we have it, that would be left to full council. But I figure it would be a planning and development, starting point,
Yeah,
because it's going to affect any future development if there is a rent control, bylaw,
Right.
you know, so I would think that we could get a legal opinion from Copeland and Page that, number one, can we do it?
mhm.
And number two, what steps do we take to try to start researching it if it's feasible?
I'll talk to Counselor Montigny, and the two of us will probably end up in the town manager's office, and the three of us will discuss it and start the process, to speak of the devil, to see where we can or can't go. Well, it was suggested that the town council or a subcommittee of the town council look into the possibility of a rent control bylaw or some other such statute to be used in Southbridge. And this is all, of course, very preliminary. Nothing is happening at this point. I just want to advise the public that it's probably worth looking into, but there's no guarantee that anything can come of it. So we'll do our due diligence, and we can get back to the public one way or another, but it's gonna take a little bit of time, and we're gonna do this properly, and again, follow our due diligence. So we'll go with that. I think that's fair, and it's a good thing to look at. I
Like
do
I say,
think that.
I think it's important that we get legal opinion first. There's no use doing all this work
Mhm.
to find out we can't do it. We get a legal opinion saying, yes, we have the capability, no, you don't have the capability.
We'll,
It will answer the question on which way we got to go forward.
right, and we can come back with that. So I'll have a discussion with the manager and with General Gov, Councilor Montigny, and we'll go from there. Okay, any further discussion on that? All right, I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? We are adjourned.